So start seated, nice tall spine. And you could be sat in a chair, so you might have feet to the earth, or you might have seat to the earth, or knees to the earth, whatever. If you've decided to lie down, just kind of improvise with a little bit of warming up through the body. And you might close your eyes here or soften your gaze. So this is almost like kind of really short mini asana or movement practice, let's say. So the kind of purpose of our movement or asana originally, according to kind of old yogic texts, was to then get us into a comfortable position for meditation. So a preparation for meditation or stillness. So as you inhale, see if you can perhaps just sit a little bit taller. The crown of the head comes towards the sky. And as you exhale, you might soften through the face, through the shoulders, into the belly. So try not to slouch, but in equal measure, not sitting up sort of really strong and forcing yourself to lift. So it's that balance of strength and softness that we seek. And next time you exhale, just gently drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Just breathe in there. Inhale, bring the head back to center, crown of head to the sky. And as you exhale, just take it to the left. So just feeling into the neck, the jawline, maybe even into the collarbone. Next time you breathe in, come back to center. As you breathe out, we'll let the chin dip down towards the chest. Spine stays nice and long. And as we inhale, nice deep breath, we come through center and just take the chin up towards the sky. So we don't want to compress too much through the back of the neck. Just gently open the throat. And next exhale, come back to center. And maybe just take in the hands, just bend it into the elbows a little bit, or you could reach your hands out in front if you feel like you've got a little bit more energy. Just have a rotate through the wrists, a little tense and release out through the fingers. And then let's bring the fingertips onto the shoulders, just making circles with the elbows, so nice and slowly, as big or small as you feel your body allows. And then taking it in the opposite direction. And then we'll bring the hands onto the thighs or the knees, just for some gentle cat and cow. So as you breathe in, just tilting the heart space up. And as you breathe out, chin to chest, and pulling the spine away. So just a couple like that. It might be much smaller than you're used to in your class, in your yoga class. Important just to move with the breath. And find yourself back at center. At this point, either get yourself comfy where you are, if you're happy to be in a seated position, or if you feel that you need to come closer to the earth and lie down, then get yourself in a lay down position. So we'll just take a couple of moments for anyone to make an adjustment. And then come back to eyes closed if you can. So it's a good practice to have your eyes closed or a very low gaze in mindfulness or meditation. We're taking our awareness inwards. Take a nice deep breath. Release as you exhale. Just let go of your day. It's behind you. Let's become present as best we can. And you might take another deep releasing breath as you settle and soften. Well done. So our practice today, some of you may be familiar with, you might not. Either way is absolutely fine. If we can, we approach everything as if we're coming at it from the first time. So we can learn something, especially through meditation each time. And it's metta, or loving kindness. So it generally involves repeating a set of statements or phrases. And we're going to use a couple today. If they really don't feel right for you, then you alter to what feels right for you. But I would advise you use the same ones each time. So otherwise it can get a little bit too complicated. And we can get drawn into like, oh, was that the right thing I said? Oh, now I've forgotten and I'm out of my meditation process. So we start with ourselves and then we expand this awareness of loving kindness outwards. So it becomes so wide that we're expanding it out to the whole world, but we'll see how far we get with it. And there's a meditation teacher called Sharon Salzberg, and she says, in reality, the practice of loving kindness is about cultivating love as a strength or a muscle, so something that we practice. Loving kindness is about opening ourselves up to others with compassion and equanimity, which is a challenging exercise, requiring us to push back against assumptions, prejudice, and labels that most of us have internalized. So, as always, there's no right or wrong. Just do the best you can. If something feels like it's not right for you, then maybe there's a question as to why, or how can you change that and adapt it for you. So our phrases will be happy, healthy, and well. And I'll talk you through them first. So first of all, we bring awareness to and connect to ourselves. And, that can be a challenge. And you might place a hand onto the heart space. So maybe that is a means of connecting to yourself. If you're a person of imagination, shall we call it, then in your mind's eye, you might see a glow or a kind of bubble or a sphere around your physical being, a light, as you become aware of you as a being. And we're on mute, so you could speak these out loud if you wish, or if you feel like it's better for you to just speak them in the mind, just repeat them after me. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be well. And take a deep breath. So I'm going to take just a minute to allow those to sink in. And in that minute, you might repeat them again. You might just have this awareness of your physical self. If different thoughts outside of the practice come in, as they often do, see if you can take your awareness back into the practice, even if that's just the hand on the heart space or a deep breath. Well done. So moving on, keep the hand at the heart if that feels right for you, or you might release it, but knowing that that is an area that you could come back to focus on. And we're going to turn our awareness to someone who we have really kind of loving feelings for already. So someone who's perhaps quite a poignant part of your life. Could be a friend, a family member, a partner, can even be a pet. And here we're connecting with their heart space. So again, if you're a person of imagination, you might almost imagine that they are just sat or lay down in front of you. So you're sharing this space with them. You might just have a flicker of that person in the mind, and that's enough for the focus. And speaking the phrases as if you are speaking to that person, externally or internally. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be well. And then perhaps imagining that this person just really gently gets up from being in the space with you and walks away with your well wishes, with that love and kindness. And we'll take a minute now. Either you could continue to send that loving kindness to them. You might come back to the heart space, to that sphere or that glow of light around you. And take a nice deep breath just to release from that part. And now we're turning our attention to what we would probably call like kind of just a neutral person. So we have no overly strong feelings of love or deep connection with this person, but neither do we have any feelings of resentment or dislike for this person. So the best way that I kind of think about it is it could be someone that you pass in the street on your walk to work, or someone at your train ticket office, someone in your corner shop. So they've figured in part of your life, but neither in an amazingly positive or a really negative way. It could be a neighbour down the road. And we perhaps might not feel comfortable bringing them visually into our space. So maybe we just offer them as a thought in the mind, or if they're connected in some way to something. So if you go and buy your milk from the shop and it's the person who serves you, you might just think of your carton of milk. And we're going to offer again, it might be out loud, it might be internally, our loving kindness to them, just as someone who is in some way a part of our life. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be well. And there's this lovely word called sonder. And the concept of sonder is that we're each kind of passers by in the story of the life of someone else. So when you might be sitting waiting for the train and a person just passes by on the train, they're a small part of the story of your life. You don't really know too much about them. They don't know too much about you. You might make assumptions from what you see, but we're all just passing through each other's lives. So we're going to take a minute to either keep our focus gently on that neutral person, maybe keep a focus on our heart space, or perhaps on our breath. Well done. Take a nice deep breath in and release. And our next one can be tricky. So, as with everything, if you feel it's not right for you or it's not right for you right now, then you can pass that by. And I would say bring it back to the very first part of this, draw it back to yourself. So, this one is bringing to mind or bringing our awareness to someone that we don't necessarily have good feelings or a good relationship with. So, someone who may have even quite negatively impacted our lives. And, you know, we all have stories. For you, it might be something that's quite raw, might be something that's years old, but is still quite raw. So, I would say that if in thinking that your gut and your heart kind of says, no, I don't want them to be part of this, don't allow them to be part of this. Go back to you. The other option is that you can imagine that person as a child. So it's almost having this kind of childlike innocence. So maybe just take a moment, breathe deeply if you need to, if this kind of brings to the surface something that is a little bit more raw. So this for me used to be one, I had a particular person who I focused on, and it was a real kind of challenge to sit with him. But I feel like it helped me eventually. And again, we might not want to invite them as such directly into our space to sit with us or lie with us. So maybe there's just a flicker in the mind of that person. Or, for example, if they wore a particular sweater or shoe or hairband or drove a particular car, we might instead take our attention to that or that vision of what they would be like as a child with a sense of innocence about them. And either saying these out loud or internally, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be well. And then in our minds, let's imagine that that person walks away. And, you know, if you need to, you could imagine they walk right into the sea or right off the edge of a cliff, if that helps you. But they walk away. They're gone. And that can be hard, right? That bit of it. But sometimes what is more damaging perhaps is to hold on to that kind of resentment and that feeling of, oh gosh, you really wronged me. There can be an element of freedom in just saying, do you know what? I wish you well. Goodbye. So sit with how you feel about that. If there are feelings that are heavy, then that's okay. You know, I'm not with you in person, but I'm with you in this space, and you're loved in this space. You're important in this space. If you need a couple of deep breaths, take a couple of deep breaths. Those exhales are really good for releasing. Screaming and shouting in the right kind of setting is really good for releasing as well. Well done. Take a nice deep breath. And just let that one go as best you can. And now from wherever we are, we might open the palms. So if we're seated, we might just have the backs of the hands resting on knees or thighs. If we're laid down, we might just extend one hand away and have the back of the hand resting on the earth. So this is symbolic of kind of offering this love and kindness to a much further space. And at the current point in time in the world, this can be quite challenging as well. You know, to say that not only are we offering love and kindness to people in need, but perhaps offering that to people who we believe have wronged the world. So as best you can, and if you have a particular focus in mind, or maybe you just want to see the world, or maybe you want to see a specific person or group of people, I'm going to offer our loving kindness out to them. And this might be in the way that you come back to the awareness of your heart space, or back to that sphere or glow of light. Green is a useful color in this. Green is the color of the heart in our energy system. And each time you exhale, this light just spreads a little bit further. Repeating the phrases internally or externally, whatever feels best for you. And we're all included in this. So our phrase changes to, may we be happy. May we be healthy. May we be well. And perhaps just spending a minute allowing on your exhale breaths that light to spread out. If it feels better to you to focus on hand on heart or something else, then you know, you do what feels right for you. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And just for the final part of our practice, we're going to focus mainly on the inhale. And as we breathe in, we imagine that that light, that glow, that love and kindness that we've sent out is coming right back towards us. So that may be from other people, but more so, we're just drawing that back into our own heart space. until maybe there's the glow or the sphere around us, or maybe there's just this gentle glow at the space of the heart. You might want to turn your palms over, symbolizing that the energy is coming back to you. You might want to place the hand on the heart space. Take a nice deep breath in and release. And perhaps just gently start to blink the eyes open. So that's, quite a deep practice, that one. My advice would be, if you really feel like, oh gosh, that wasn't for me, leave it for a little bit of time. Not everything is for everyone or for this particular time. But at some point, it is nice to come back to things that invoke something, because we want to question why, perhaps. But if you need time to heal, then we need time to heal. If you feel like you're quite heavy and your energy is quite heavy, in honesty, I would get up and I would have a little dance or a shake. So literally moving that heaviness of energy out of your body. So shake the fingers, the toes, maybe have a little while you're kind of doing it. Don't worry about your neighbors. I don't worry about mine. And let's just close the practice together by maybe bringing hands to heart in Namaskar, or maybe just placing the hands onto the heart. Feel what you feel. Gently bow to yourself. So thank yourself, your body, your breath, your mind, your heart space. And thank you for joining me. The light and dark in me honors the light and dark within you. Namaste.